my God, I'm so sorry. I'm really embarrassed. I'm sorry about that. I'm never coming back here. I'm sorry.
Oh, I remember. I had a car accident.
And everyone's behind me and I'm like, oh.
Sumimasen.
Hey guys, welcome to Ask Japanese and to Tokyo. This is your bloody fashion reporter, Kathy Cat. It's actually not blood, it's strawberries, whatever. Let's go. And today I asked foreigners who are here living in Japan, not just tourists, but actually living here, what their biggest struggles are in Japan. Let's share those and ask foreigners in Japan. There we go.
Okay.
So,
Hello.
hello. Where are you from?
I'm from Mexico.
From Mexico.
Yes.
Okay, so we're currently going around and we're asking everyone what was like a mistake you did in Japan. Anything you're like, oh, that's so embarrassing. Why did I do that? So where you kind of like stepped into it a little bit.
Okay, well, I was in a restaurant. I just like call the waitress and I was like, can I have the check, please, in my table? And she was like, what are you doing? I was like, can I pay you? And she was like, go to the register. And I was like, why I need to go to the register? Like, I have here the money and can you tell me how much it is? And she was like, no, you need to go there. And it's like, why?
Right.
Yeah, and we spent like 5 minutes discussing and all the customers were like, what is she doing? And it's like, okay, I'm going to the register, I'm sorry. And then, yeah, my friend explained me, it's like, no, you need to go there because in Japan, they don't do the check on your table. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm really embarrassed. I'm sorry about that. I'm never coming back here. I'm sorry.
Fair point. Yeah, in Japan you just have to like at the front or the exit. That's usually where you pay, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I have that in Fridays. When you go to TJ Fridays, do we pay here? Do we pay in the front?
Yeah.
It depends on which person you're getting. It's different every time.
Yeah.
Always go to the front and pay there. And you have like a little slip on your table. It will be your little bill thing. Sometimes it doesn't even say a price. It just marks a couple of things. Take that to the front. They'll take care of it.
Yes.
Have you ever had like an embarrassing moment in Japan? You're like, oh, face palm.
Oh, I remember. I had a car accident when I used to live in Hiroshima. And I remember, like, in Japan, you have to call the police, like, immediately if you have an accident, which is not something we do in the UK. So I called the police, and of course they all came, but instead of just, like, 1 or 2 people coming, I had, like, 20 officers come. And then you have, like, all these, like, old people staring at me, like, oh my goodness, this foreigner's, like, crashed their car. Yeah. And it's just, like, a very different experience. Like, I never crashed my car in the UK, but...
And yeah, the spotlight, it feels like the spotlight is more on you.
It's like everyone's looking at you.
Like, because you're I guess because they can tell, like, you know, you can tell, like, we're foreigners, maybe. So, like, that kind of, like, every, like, mistake you make, it feels, like, amplified. Whether people are thinking it or not, that's kind of,
So how did you crash your car? What happened?
It was like a very tight car park and then another car was coming in and it was really hard to get out. Like Hiroshima's got quite some narrow alleyways and things. So nobody got hurt, but it was like a gentle graze of another car. And then even for that, even if you agree with the other driver, like, oh, it's my fault, I'm sorry, you still have to call the police and they like get tape out and they like measure everything. It's really like, what's the word? My English isn't so good anymore. They're very like specific and to the details on things.
Pedantic?
Pedantic's probably the word I'm looking for, yeah.
They're happy together.
Yeah, so it's a bit intimidating. I'm like, I just had an accident. Do I need all this? Like,
Spotlight on you!
That is my fault. It's fine.
Oh, did you have to pay anything?
My car insurance covered everything, so it was fine. But it was still like just the experience. I'm sure if it was the UK, it would have been a bit more relaxed.
Do you have an embarrassing moment in Japan?
I mean, I've had so many, I can't, like sometimes language, you know, mishaps. Like one time I was asking for a plastic bag and instead I asked for a bathtub. I said like, instead of fukuro, I said like ufuro. and like sometimes like I used to work at a high school and when I first arrived, like I would like interrupt these meetings because usually in Japan, it's not like a normal meeting. It's just one person kind of standing talking and everyone else is just like looking at other stuff and not paying attention. My experience, so I would interrupt these meetings and be like, hi, like blah, 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 blah. And everyone would be like, we're having a meeting now. Like, so just small things like that, yeah.
In Japan, like, there's a lot of little cultural things where, oh my gosh, no one else is doing that kind of moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you guys already have an embarrassing moment in Japan?
Oh, okay. So I have the My Sweeper app, so I can just use it on the train. but I forgot to tap out of somewhere like properly, so now it just won't work. And I've like gone to the like when it's really busy, I keep tapping it and it keeps shutting the gates on me. And everyone's behind me, and I'm like, oh,
sumimasen.
that's mine.
So did you fix it in the end?
I have a Passmo card as well, so I use that instead. I'll get it fixed at the station next time.
Okay, yeah. Find yourself a station officer who doesn't look too busy. They usually take care of that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
How did you get the up to work? Is it linked to your credit card back home, or how is that working?
Yeah, I just top it up with my bank card from England on Apple Pay. It's so simple. So I was so sad when it stopped working. I was like, no.
One question. Taiwan is very close to Japan, right?
Yes.
Do you think is like a difference between Japan and Taiwan? Or you like the first time you came here, you're like, oh, that's different here.
I think as everything is expensive. Yeah. If it's something is far, we will take the taxi and not the MRT. Yeah, because the taxi is almost the same from the Japan Densha. Yeah. So yeah, I think everything is expensive. Nothing. Yeah.
All right, guys, where are you from?
From Sweden.
From Sweden. What brings you to Japan?
Work. We came here to model. So we're here for 3 months. Yeah, with our friends. We're 5 Swedish guys actually, live in the same buildings. Yeah, so we are just having fun.
Came here 2 weeks ago. Was there kind of a culture moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I think I did something wrong?
I think that's all the time. Like every time you go out, it's like, oh, I shouldn't do this. Oh, wait, we should do this. It's very different from Europe, as you know yourself.
Yeah. Can you give me like one example of something that happened to you or one of your friends?
They're so kind and helpful, everyone. Like my friend, he asked for direction, and some lady, she walked with him like 10 minutes just to show him. And I think that's wonderful. It would never happen in Sweden or anywhere in Europe, I think. I really love the hospitality. People here they're so nice here.
Have you had like a culture fail moment where you're like, oops?
Yeah, that's happened a lot of times. Just that same thing, like, oh, you don't take card. So then it's an awkward moment. Oh, who has cash? You need to figure that out. You need to take out money or something. But nothing too bad. I think we were kind of informed when we got here, like the small things to know about.
One of the biggest struggles I personally find here after my 8 years in Japan is finding a house. Housing can be incredibly difficult because there's still quite a lot of landlords who don't want foreigners to live in their place. So even though you found a good place, the real estate agents might phone them up and they say no foreigners. And it doesn't sometimes even matter if you can speak the language fluently or not. Some just really don't want foreigners in. That's unfortunately one of the sad things. I hope that might change sometime in the future. But otherwise, you need to let it go and keep looking for something else. But hopefully, things will get a little bit easier in the future. But if you're curious about finding a place, check out this video here with more stuff about how to live in Japan. I hope it will help you guys out. Thank you so much for checking out Ask Japanese. This is Kat the Cat, and I'll catch you for more stuff from Tokyo soon. Thanks, bye. Mata ne.